This is me when I was learning English, looking so frustrated because I wanted to get a job at a hotel, but they required me to be fluent in English. And that was my biggest problem. You see, I'd been learning English for years, but actually I had terrible speaking skill because I wasn't living in an English-speaking country and I didn't have anyone to practice English speaking with. So I couldn't manage to improve my speaking. But this time was different. I needed to get the job. I had to become fluent in English. So I started researching and reading, and eventually I found a way to practice speaking alone at home without a partner. And just 1 month later, literally only 1 month later, I got the job. We can improve our speaking and improve our fluency without having someone to speak to. But the problem is no one teaches us how to do that. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you today. So let's get straight into it. Firstly, let's start with this question. Why do people always say you need someone to speak English with? What's so special about having an English-speaking partner? Well, when you talk with someone in English, you get these 4 benefits. 1, real-life practice. So you're actually using English in a real conversation. You have to express your real opinions and experiences in English. I mean, sure, you can lie if you want to, but you still have to explain your thoughts clearly. Describe things, give examples, and even sometimes compare things, just like when you're talking to a friend or a coworker. And 2, instant feedback. So when you're talking to someone and you make a mistake, that person might correct your mistakes, which is really important for improving your English and fluency. And sometimes when you get stuck, you're looking for words, that person might show you how to say it in a more natural way, which is really important. 3, time pressure. So you don't have time forever to think and respond. There's a pressure to think and respond quickly. This is a real communication. And 4, improved fluency. Because the more you talk, the more you use English, the more confident you become. So it becomes automatically for you to use English. Cool, right? We get all of these benefits when we have someone to speak English with. But here is the exciting part. I promise you can get all of these benefits without someone to practice English with. So let me show you how to recreate each of these on your own without having a speaking partner. Let's start with the first one, real-life practice. To have a real-life conversation in English, we need someone to ask us questions about ourselves. Questions like, what do you do for a living? What do you study? What's your favorite color? Or even opinion-based questions like, what do you think about social media? These kinds of questions pull us into real conversation and make us speak without overthinking. But the problem is we're alone. We don't have a magical conversation buddy who appears out of nowhere to ask us random questions all day. Unfortunately, we don't have a talking parrot either. So what do? I'm gonna give you the best hack. Use the questions from the IELTS speaking test. As you know, IELTS is an English test, but the speaking questions are basically about everyday life, and that makes them perfect for practicing real conversations. Now you might be thinking, but I don't plan to take the IELTS exam. Even if you never plan to take it, the speaking materials are like gold for practicing real conversations. The questions are about everyday topic like travel, hobbies, friends, so they help you to practice speaking naturally, just like you would in real life. Let me show you an example. In this book I'm using, there's a question that asks, how often do you go out with friends and why? I love this question because think about it. We always talk about these kinds of things in our everyday conversations. So when we practice speaking with these kinds of questions, we're training ourselves, we're training our brains to get comfortable with using English to talk about everyday topics. And notice the question isn't just how often, it also comes with why. This little word why is powerful because it pushes you to speak more naturally. Like when you're in a real conversation, you can't just say sometimes or often and stop. You have to explain things, add details, and connect your ideas. So you get a question, and based on what your question is, you have to respond to practice speaking. So to answer this question, you might say, I usually go out with my friends once or twice a week because I enjoy spending time with them. We often go to cafes or watch movies together. It helps me relax after a busy week. See the difference? You're not just giving a short answer, you're expanding your thoughts, you're building longer sentences, and that's exactly how real conversations work. Now, if you get stuck and you don't know what to say, don't panic. Just imagine you're chatting with a friendly person who's curious about you. It's okay to pause, take a breath, and make things up a little if you want. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to keep speaking without freezing up. All right, now let's move on to the feedback part, to the most important part. So you pick a question and try to answer it, but there's no one there to tell you if you made a mistake, to correct your mistakes, or show you how to say it in a more natural way. There's no friend, no teacher, no native speaker. And honestly, if you don't get feedback on your mistakes, your improvement will be so slow. So I'm gonna give you the best way to get instant feedback, detailed and personalized feedback. It's called ChatGPT. It's like having an English teacher in your pocket. And it's even better than an English teacher because it never gets tired or annoyed. And anytime you want, it explains everything clearly. So let me show you how to use it in the right way. You just ask ChatGPT, please correct this. It means fix any grammar mistakes, make it more natural, suggest stronger vocabulary, and explain your changes. It means don't just correct me, teach me why so I can improve faster. This sentence is the golden key. And then write your sentences and send it to ChatGPT. So to try this, let's answer the question, how often do you go out with your friends? Why? And let's intentionally make some mistakes. So I'm gonna say, I usually go out with my friends once or twice a week because I enjoy spend time with them. We go to cafe or watch movies. It helps me relax after a busy week. And now we have it all. As you can see, ChatGPT gave me the corrected version of my sentences and then explaining the changes it made, including grammar, word choice, sentence structure, and overall clarity. Like it corrected I enjoy time by showing me after the verb enjoy, I need to use the verb ending in ing. So it changes spend to spending. So this helps you to understand your mistakes and learn how to express yourself more naturally. You can also send a voice message if you want, which is much better than writing your sentences. Just speak freely and ChatGPT will transcribe what you said and correct it. Honestly, you're so lucky that you're learning English in this time and age. You've got ChatGPT. When I was learning English, I didn't have anything like that. You know, I'd look through grammar books or search online for hours, just trying to find the right pattern. Then I have to figure out, okay, is my sentence based on this pattern or not? You know, only after that I would understand what was wrong, and it took forever. And honestly, it wasn't exactly fun. So now you don't have to waste hours of your time trying to find the right grammar rule, or wondering if your sentence sounds right, or second guess yourself. You have a tool that helps you to speak better English faster. You get instant and personalized feedback. ChatGPT looks at your exact sentence, finds the mistake, and explains why it's incorrect right away. So it's like having your own private English coach who helps you to understand the language, not just to memorize it. So yeah, you're learning English at the perfect time. Practice every day and you'll get faster than you think. Next, we have time pressure, which is so powerful. When you try to answer a question from the IELTS speaking test, don't treat it like writing. Don't sit there for 10 minutes trying to write the perfect answer. Nope. Just imagine someone has asked you that question and you have to answer right away. Just speak on the spot, just like in a real conversation. And that's the real magic. That's real communication. Fast, expressive, and natural. That's the kind of speaking that builds fluency, because you're training your brain to speak under pressure without freezing. And when you combine that with feedback from ChatGPT, oh my God, you're really leveling up. And the last part, improved fluency. Here's the truth. If you want to become fluent in English, you have to speak a lot. Not once a week, not when you feel like it, but every single day. And actually, you don't have to wait months or weeks to see the result. When you speak every day, you feel it. You feel that you're really improving. You're becoming fluent while you're practicing. At first, you might struggle to put your thoughts into words, but just after a few days, things start clicking. You know, your sentences get longer and smoother. You stop translating in your head and start thinking in English. I know it because I've done it. I became fluent in English just in 1 month. Seriously. Because I was practicing speaking this way every single day for hours. No distractions, no grammar drills, just speaking out loud and answering some questions, and then correcting myself because I was so determined to get the job, and I made it. So if your goal is to become fluent, you have to practice this way every day. You know, at first you might get stuck. Your sentences might be short and you might be slow. You can't put your thoughts into words. But then the more you practice, the more you become fluent in English. All right, I hope you really enjoyed this video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.